All right, guys, welcome back for another video. In today's video, I want to talk about monthly price action in Bitcoin. But first, I want to start this video off by talking about the largest Bitcoin whale in the space and track some of its movements. We've got to go to this address right here. You can see this on BitInfo charts. But if you exclude for exchange wallets, which are the largest Bitcoin wallets in the space, and isolate those out, this is actually the largest wallet. Most people would think it was Michael Saylor. He has a similar amount of Bitcoin, roughly 130,000. But this wallet's actually a little bit bigger than Michael Saylor's, coming in at 132,000 BTC. That's roughly 3 billion US dollars. Now, this is an anonymous wallet. Nobody knows who this is. Of course, somebody knows who it is somewhere, but the identity is not publicly known. Now, a lot of people have said that this wallet has just created. People posted articles saying that that this wallet, somebody bought $3 billion in Bitcoin in July. That's just not true. You got to do your due diligence. That's just simply not true. This actually was transferred from a previous wallet that I was tracking before. I did a video uploaded on that, tracking that movement, and it was transferred from a previous wallet address. Now, the wallet sent all of their Bitcoin through Coinbase, and then, of course, everyone who was tracking the movement of that wallet saw the Bitcoin going into Coinbase and thought, holy shit, like this whale is going to dump everything on the market. Which, there's a lot of rationale behind that, and that should have set off a lot of alarm bells in different people. But for whatever reason, these funds flowed through Coinbase and then into this new wallet. Who knows what the reason for that is? It's total speculation. But this is the new wallet address. You can see the key right here. Yeah, and it's just they have a very steady increment of accumulation and distribution. Now, there's not a lot of history in the wallet here, but if you were to go back to the wallet that it transferred from with more extensive history, you'd find that it has very rigid take profits. Like if you see this 500 BTC, 500 BTC, 500 BTC, that's the same pattern that occurred in the previous wallet address, same pattern of behavior. And then you see the accumulation within the wallet being a little bit more indiscriminate and just, a little bit less orderly and less of a rationale behind it. And the way I interpret that is whatever this entity is some kind of entity that's beholden to accounting purposes, and that they're selling in these 500 BTC transaction sizes for a purpose, either for accounting purposes or some type of, again, it's total speculation. And then on the accumulation side, it does seem like whatever this entity is just sweeping whatever excess cash flow they have into the Bitcoin address. Now, it's not as obvious here. Again, there's the previous address with more extensive history. But what is interesting is that this wallet just purchased 320 Bitcoin today. Today is August 15th. There's this block transaction right here showing 320 BTC, which is $7 million. Again, in the grand scheme of this wallet, it's, not much, but it's still a very large transaction size. And it's actually the first accumulation that's occurred after this wallet transferred over to Coinbase. So showing you new accumulation, and that this wallet is not distributing, it's actually building its position. So again, who knows if that's the beginning of a trend, more accumulation of this, dumping free cash flow into this wallet. Who knows? But I will be paying attention to this wallet. If you guys are interested in following this wallet, I'll put the link in the description of the video just so you guys can track it. Again, it's more for fun than it is anything tradable or actionable. But if you really like to, dive deep into the markets, sometimes tracing different wallets is, particularly interesting. Now going back to the price chart, you've got the just want to do a little bit of a run through on the Bitcoin price chart, and specifically talk about monthly price action. So I'll just mark off the distinctions right here. Now, on the previous video I uploaded, I really talked about weekly price distinctions and how to trade them relative to the the weekly open in the context of the weekly taking higher highs. So on the weekly, we've seen the weekly continue to make higher highs for several weeks now, but we've just started to see the monthly do that here. Now, is that the beginning of a trend? Well, not necessarily, but it's the type of behavior you would expect if the monthly was going to, to set in a low and initiate a trend. Eventually, it has to take out the highs at some point. Now you got a similar, distinction here, right? You get this high right here, and then create new lows on the monthly, and then you come put a swing low on the monthly right here. It's a very classic swing low pattern right here. You've got this lower wick surrounded by two lower high wicks right here. Boom, boom, and then you get that swing low pattern right there, and then price comes up, takes out the high, closes above the high, and now you that's the point at which you've got your low set in right here, and then the whole downtrend reverses, and you get the monthly, defending the lows, creating new highs, never taking out the lows until it tops out right here at 53,000. And I'll swing back to that in a little bit and talk about how that ties into volatility and how you can use that area as a risk management area. But first, let me just go back to the current price action and talk about these different levels here. So I just marked off the levels that were closest to current price action. Of course, this monthly open down here would be relevant, but it's a little bit further away right now. So I just want to talk about the distinctions that are near and dear to price action currently. So you've got the previous monthly open, close, the current monthly open, previous monthly high, current monthly low. The current monthly high and low are not so important as the previous month's high, just for understanding purposes. And the reason for that is because there's a pretty good likelihood that either this high or this low will be taken out during the the second half of this month's price action. Um, it's price could have set in the high and the low, and this just closes maybe near the open. It's sort of an indecision spinning top candle, but there is a pretty good significant likelihood that we see continuation to the upside, or on the flip side to the downside. So anyway, it's a long way of saying that this high and this open are more important, but we'll just mark these off on the chart just for reference, and kind of see what price is doing on the daily relative to those monthly levels. So again, you have your monthly open right here. We can mark that off on the chart. Now, I think it's worth mentioning that I've been talking about quarterly opens a lot, and the quarterly open, we had that at the beginning of July, and you see the trend turn around, start making new highs, but we don't see the monthly start making new highs until the August 1st open. So we'll go back to the monthly, see where we are. So we got this level here, high, open. Let's go to the daily. So you've got your open right there, your previous monthly high right here. We'll just mark this off just for the sake of being very, very thorough. So that's the highest point at which July price action traded to. So that's your July monthly high. There's your August open right here, a little bit lower right there. And then here's your current monthly low coming in around 22400, and then your current monthly high right at this level right here. So you've got this price action. We can actually go down to a 4-hour and analyze it a little bit better. So again, you can kind of see what's going on here with the monthly open. You see price run up above that monthly open. That's generally an area where there's going to be liquidity to be ran, right? even in the context of an uptrend, even if this monthly closes dramatically higher, you're still going to see that type of price distinction around those historic levels. And then you see, of course, the liquidity get ran there, and then price runs down, but it's still, still acting bullishly, right? It's still defending the lows right here, um, and then it gets another thrust up. Now, what price is doing currently is a little bit different. We'll just go down to the 15-minute or the hourly chart. You do have a breaker formation right here, which is anytime you get a relative consolidation, so to speak, and then you get new highs and then new lows formed. So mark off like right here, this new low right here. So anytime you see price look like it's about to break down, then run up above the highs one last time, and then break down below the intermediate time frame lows, there's your breaker. That's going to be a very significant area. It generally indicates that price is going to retrace a little bit more of the swing. Again, I think the important point here is not to confuse this with what's going on the high time frames, right? A lot of times, the high time frames can and will kick in at any moment, and these small time frame distinctions don't matter. So they're really not a good base or operable to open up a major position that's contrary to those high time frames, because they can kick in at any moment. It's sort of kind of along the lines of like, you know, don't be standing on the train tracks when the train comes. It's that type of idea. Um, but again, you get this. Let's go back to the monthly chart. Yeah, you can't really see it on the monthly, but basically what you're seeing is, the liquidity being run down below, and probably find some liquidity below the previous monthly high and kind of work around the stops down here. A lot of different levels where stop losses can be ran right there, right there. Even right here, we may have seen, even something like this where you get these lows right here and then a push down, then a thrust up. That's the type of behavior I'm trying to point your attention to. Now, if we go back to the monthly chart, you can kind of see this, how it plays out here, right? If you were to mark off every monthly high right here, you could see that these are all going to be very, very good areas to take profit. Even though the trend is up, right, they're good areas to sell right into that liquidity. So you get a run above the monthly high right here, sells off a little bit, right? Nothing crazy, but it's a good place to take profit, right? Sells off. Then you get a run above the monthly high right here. Price sells off, run down into a previous monthly high right here, run up. This one is not a good example, but again, it was a good example here, good example there, good example here. Price runs up above this monthly high right here, sells off dramatically. So of course, this one time right here where it ran above didn't work, but 3 for 4, not bad. Where this actually, the monthly levels may actually be even more effective is, uh, gauging where to, expect volatility to come into the market. So we can just mark these levels. And, the way that markets work generally is that you may have heard this term before, but basically in the markets, you take the stairway up and the elevators down. Bull markets are generally actually a lot slower than the dumps, and you don't really get those parabolic pushes until the end of the bull market. Generally, most uptrends are spent in the market's in a period of disbelief. It's just slowly grinding higher as people think of every reason why it shouldn't go higher. It's called the wall of worry. And then again, of course, when the market does turn around to the downside, it takes the elevator down, moves very dramatically. Well, a good way to tell when the market's about to take that elevator down is when the market starts violating the monthly lows. So I just marked off every one of those in this scenario. So you have this trend where the monthly is just creating new highs, never violating the lows until right here, violates this low right here, volatility picks up dramatically. So we marked off that low. That's a change of behavior. We did that right here as well. You know, the monthly is making new highs, and then it suddenly changes behavior, starts violating the lows, and then the volatility kicks in. Same thing here, only briefly, of course, but starts making new highs and then comes back, violates the lows, volatility kicks in dramatically. So we'll just go down to the daily time frame to see that up close. Again, remember that we marked off the those monthly low change of behaviors right here, and right here. You can see here that when the monthly came down below that monthly low right here, price moved very dramatically in liquidation fashion. Let's go to the other one. Here's the other monthly change of structure right here. This low we marked off. We can pull this off now because it's relating to this area here. So this was the monthly change in structure we noted. And then the monthly comes down, breaks its uptrend structure, starts violating new lows. Volatility kicks in. Boom. Liquidations, incredible liquidations. So it's showing you that area, if you had to pick an area to put a stop loss, they're generally the areas that will protect you from being dramatically on the wrong side of the trade if that monthly trend does flip around. And also right here, we see this as well. You see this monthly low right here. Price kind of comes up, comes down, hangs out around that low. I actually was long here and using this as an invalidation. If you guys have been following my channel for a while, I was long at that region up here, took a little bit of profit up here. But then ultimately, most of the position ended up collapsing on me, but my entry was pretty good from down here. My invalidation was good as well. As soon as I saw this candle right here, well, I got stopped out on an initial portion pretty early on, and then closed the rest of the position as soon as this candle closed right here because of that monthly structure change. And ultimately, that ended up saving me pretty well because, again, the volatility did come in pretty dramatically right there. So, yeah, just running through the illustrations, back test that stuff for yourself. It's something that's helped me, pretty well over the years. Again, so hope you guys got some value out of this video. If you did get some value, just make sure to leave a subscribe on the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next upload.